Yeah, good morning, all of you. So, guys, I'm just recapping what we discussed last 2-3 days. I've given the overview on SAP different versions like SAP R1, R2, R3, then ECC to S4HANA. So, we are well versed with all the 4 generations of SAP as of today. So, now we are slightly going inside of the SAP system. As already we discussed, SAP, the backbone is 3-tier architecture. As of today, right from SAP R3 till date, how many versions SAP has released? The architecture, the backbone is SAP R3. That is the 3-tier architecture. 3-tier architecture. Let me share my screen. Listen me carefully, and if possible, daily take a running notes. What in your own terminology, whatever you understand, just take a running notes, or once you are done with the class, refer the recording and take the running notes. It's up to you. Okay. And anyhow, recording will be there, but running notes will help you a lot. Okay. So hope you can able to see my screen, guys, all of you. Yep. So see this carefully. So any company landscape you take it, usually will have multiple servers, right? Will have multiple servers like development, quality, production, will have a different servers here. So presentation is the system. The users will be connected from the presentation. It will be just look like this. On your laptop or desktop, you need to install the small presentation called SAP Logon. So here, the server details, like if my development server details are SID is something, host name is something, and the instance number, those details we need to take it and enter the details here. What is the IP address you are going to connect? What is the system ID, instance number? Once you enter, the details will be updated and you can just connect like this. So some of the networks, some of the systems we need VPN, and if you don't need VPN also, most of the servers will work, but your management will decide what exactly you're going to allow. So all your systems, if you talk about one of my client network, let me open. Sorry, Amazon. If you just talk about one of my client network here, so all the systems, whatever the systems they have and whatever the systems I'm responsible, I can able to see all the servers there. So just give me a second, I'll show you. So this is the Amazon workspace, right? So all these client related servers are there in Amazon, AWS. So if you want to access the servers, then we don't need any VPN or anything, just Amazon workspace is needed. Like Google, how you are accessing Google workspace, the same way we need it. So I'm not associated with one client or one customer, right? So I'm just working with the multiple clients in one region. Usually wherever they have issues, I used to jump into those systems. So here, okay, this is fine. Yep. See here, guys. One of my client called Mighty Mighty from UK. So these are the different servers they have. All these servers they hosted in Amazon Workspace, AWS, and even any server we can log in. So this is how your presentation will look like. Okay, so leave this part. So now, just a moment, guys. Where it is? Yep. Yep. So I'm just close the session. We don't need it. This is your presentations. And next, your application server, guys. So application server, that is a middleware. From the presentation, whatever the request you are sending, the request goes to application server to database. So first presentation, then application servers, multiple application servers. It goes up to 99. So total 100 application servers we can install and we can work. So database is only one. Under one database, the database might be either development or quality or production. It's up to you, anything. So my production server who have 10,000 people are going to work. These 10,000 people, they in their own laptops, they will install graphical user interface, which I have shown you just now. With the help of this GUI, all these users will be connected. So based on the number of users, if you have 5,000 employees, 5,000 graphical user interfaces will be there. So to support these 5,000 users, how many application servers are needed, that you need to decide. So based on the load, like how many users are connected in the morning time, afternoon, evening, and what will be the peak hours, what will be the non-peak hours. There are a lot of things we need to consider. So based on that, right from 1 till 99, total 100 application servers can be connected to single database. So whatever the database it is, development, quality, and production databases. So these are just processing units, guys. So the first application server can be called as primary application server, and the second application server can be called as ASCS. And right from the third application servers, guys, you can mute yourself. Still there is a disturbance. Okay, see this carefully. The first application server can be called as primary application server, and the second application server can be called as ASCS. And right from the third application server, total 100 application servers can be configured under one single database. So when you are installing SAP, so your database will be configured as database ID we need to provide, that is SID, SAP ID, SAP system ID, or SID. So for this you have to use character number, or character number. But the first letter should be a character. Rest, either character or number can be used. So if you see the system here, if you see any system here, this is one of the system. Okay, just let me close this. Okay, so any system you take it, we have two systems here for the training purpose. In this system, SA1 is the SID, SA1. So see, character number, they used it. And another system, if I take it, PepsiCo systems, SH9, SAP HANA system 9. So these conventions you can use however you want it. And instance number is 09. That means application server 00, 01, then 02, 03, till 99. Total 100 application servers can be configured under single database. So leave this part, Unicode, non-Unicode, all these things we'll discuss later. It's not mandatory at this moment. So as already told you, in the presentation level, there are three types of presentations, guys. The first presentation is SAP GUI for Windows and SAP GUI for Java and SAP GUI for HTML. If you want to see what kind of installation you have done, go to SAP GUI which is installed in your system, go to SAP logon and check what is there. What is this here? SAP logon for Windows. 760 final release. This is the last version. And when it was released, everything we can able to see. 760 is the current version. This is the latest one. Probably in the next couple of months, you may get a next version. Mostly by October 6th or 7th, you will get a next version. So here, the first type of GUI is SAP GUI for Windows. If your server is on Windows operating system, and the presentation is on Windows operating system, just assume all Hyderabad users who are sitting in Hyderabad, they have the presentation systems on Windows operating system, and most of the teams are working with the Windows operating system, and the server is on Windows operating system. Your server, the server is located in Netherlands or Brazil, whatever the server. So your development, our quality, our production, are all the three systems are located in Brazil. If you want to connect your servers, just assume I'm working with Mighty, one of the customer in the UK. So Mighty, and I was working with Pfizer, Novartis, and Eli Lilly. So Eli Lilly is one of the leading cancer medicine company. In fact, the insulin was invented by Eli Lilly for cancer and diabetics. So such a very big company. I was one of the technical manager, worked as a technical manager. So the servers are located in Novi data center, and all these are on the Linux environment. But employees, all the employees, they have Windows operating systems. So if your server and the presentations are in two different operating systems, then you have to use SAP GUI for Java. So the GUI which is installed on your laptop, it should be either GUI for Windows or Java or HTML. So that will be decided based on the operating system which you are working and the operating system which is used for the server to set up. So, but most of your laptops will see on SAP GUI for Windows, or maximum they don't use Java. Why? Because servers will be installed, and when you want to communicate cross platforms, then SAP GUI for Java will be the ideal option. So the last one, GUI for HTML, graphical user interface. The small application will be installed in your mobile. In your mobile phone, you have apps, right? The apps are kind of GUI. So the small GUI should be installed. ICICI Bank related app is installing. That means that is kind of GUI only. It won't ask you the user ID password each and every time. That is the GUI. In the other terminologies, other than SAP, we can call them as APIs. application programming interfaces, or Java, .NET people used to call it as SDKs, software development kit. So one small app will be installed. Nowadays, PHP and Python, these people are calling it as apps only. Directly, they are calling it as apps. So these apps can be installed in your laptop or desktop, and that application will directly interact with the server where you have where it is installed. Then you can work. So as a user, you need to know what is the presentation system, what is the GUI, what type of GUIs you have it, and after that, application servers. As already told you just now, by default at the time of SAP installation, you will have only one application server. At the time of SAP installation, you will get only one application server called central instance. We can call them as central instance. Okay, let me write down. So right from ECC till S4HANA, we are calling them as central instance. But right from S4HANA, or not from S4HANA, right from NetWeaver, the terminology, the new terminology is introduced called primary application server, ASCS, and additional application servers. We can call it as CSI, and these are the dialog instances. I'll explain, guys. Don't worry about it. If you don't understand, don't worry. I'll explain. So these are just like your team leader or team members, guys. You have only one person in the team. He will act as a team member. He will work as a team lead also. So for your management, he is the point of contact as a team lead, as a team member. So he can able to manage 10 requests per day. But one day you got 15 requests. One day, right, he will manage. But daily we are getting more than 15 requests. So he cannot able to manage. Then he requested his manager to provide another resource. Why? Because the load is increased. One person can't able to manage. Now we have two resources. Now the load is, both can take the load up to 20 requests. So from next month onwards, around 30-35 requests are coming up. So 1 month they can manage, 1 week they can manage, but daily if it is happening in the same way and the load is increased, then obviously again another 2 resources can be requested. So now when the resources are increased, for the management, it is very tough to coordinate with each and everyone. If I call user 1, he will say I'm busy with other requests. If I call user 2, he will say I'm busy with other requests. But clients, they don't want to wait for anyone. So that's why among all these 5-6 employees here, one person will work as a team lead. For the entire team, he is the lead. And rest of the users will work as team members. So if you have only one application server in your environment, that will act as a primary application server, that will act as a additional application server, or that will act as a CI, that will work as a DI. CI means, just assume it's a team lead. DI means team member. So if you have only one application server in your landscape, that will act as a central instance, that will work as a dialog instance. Directly the request will go there and it will process. But if the load is very high and you're allowing more than the load handled by one application server, then you have to add another application server called dialog instance. Like this, one application server, 2, 3, 4, 5, like this 100 application servers can be connected to the single instance. So sorry, single database. Getting all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Any questions?
No, sir.
All of you.
Sir, could you explain one more time, sir?
The application,
Sir,
application server concept.
yes, sir.
Okay. So at least did you understand this team lead and team member concept?
Yes, yes.
Yes,
So
sir.
exactly the same thing in SAP also. If you have only one person in the team, okay, whatever the requests are coming to him, he will take the request from the management and he will perform the activity and he will submit to the management. So he will act as a team lead and team member. Even in SAP, by default, at the time of SAP installation, you will have only one application server. You will have only one application server that will act as a central instance. Central instance means team leader. He is the leader for all the application servers. Dialog instance means it's a team member. So it will act as a CI, it will work as a DI if you have only one. But if you have, if the load is excessive load is allowed, then obviously we have to add another instance called dialog instance. So some of the resources from the CI is shifted to DI, or the roles and responsibilities of the application servers will be separated. See, earlier I'm the only one person in the team, but now due to the heavy workload, another 4 resources are given to me. So now slightly my roles are changed. Earlier I used to jump into the tickets directly. I used to take the tickets on my name and I used to work. But now my management has given additional responsibility to manage the 4 resources. Whatever the work is coming to me, I can call Ramesh, I can call Bhavani, I can call Sandesh, I can call someone else. I know what these users are working. For example, there is a request for memory management. I know Bhavani is very good in memory management. So I can directly assign this ticket to her. So like this, earlier I used to take 10 tickets per day. That is my job. But today, my management told me to manage the 4 resources first. Then if you have some bandwidth, you can take the tickets on your name, but don't take the load how you were handling earlier. That means now my jobs are splitted. Now managing the team is my primary focus, primary responsibility. And then if I have some bandwidth and huge number of requests are coming up, then I can take up the request. The same way, earlier, if you have only one application server, that will take the request from the users, different users, and it will process, then it will connect to the DB. Okay, in the bank, just take bank example, guys. Bank, bank only one location, only one office they have, and approximately somewhere around 500 to 600 customers they will come per day. To manage these 500 to 600 users, the landscape we set up is database, one application server, and all the 600 people, like 600 people or 700 people to manage 4-5 cash counters. We kept it. All these 4-5 cash counters, once they open the portal and once they do something, those requests will be sent to application server to database. This is what they are running. But now, the business is increased. The bank is allowing more number of people from internet also. The customers, due to COVID, they can sit at home and they can install the bank application in the mobile and they can connect to the bank for deposit, cash withdrawal, anything can be done. So now, how many customers are allowed? We don't know. Almost 1 lakh accounts are there in the bank. But earlier, we know the load, how many people can come to bank. But now, we don't know. Now we don't know how many people will come to bank, will connect through portal. Getting, guys? So now one application server is enough to manage the complete load?
No.
So then what you have to do? So we need to validate. Okay, this month approximately 10,000 requests has come. Approximately per day, 2,000 to 3,000 requests are coming up. Per day, approximately 2,000 requests are coming up. Why? Because it is very easy, right? If someone wants to go to bank, they will be lazy and they don't go. But by sitting at home, usually everyone will prefer that. So approximate load we have seen for a month, 2 months. Based on that, as a basis consultant, you need to plan the resources. So approximately 2,000 requests per day means approximately then 2 to 3 application servers are enough to manage the load. So those 2-3 application servers we can keep it. So the first application server will act as a central instance. The second to third, fourth, fifth, how many you want it, those will work as a dialog instances. The first one, CI, or that can be called as PaaS also, primary application server. Central instance, primary application server, the meaning is same, guys. And the additional application server, AAS, DI, the meaning is same. So old versions, we used to call it as central instance. The latest versions, we are calling it as PAS, primary application servers. And the load, so even wherever the users are connecting, across the globe, the users are connecting to the bank from Internet Explorer or through apps or however they want, they are connecting. By default, the request will be handled by team lead or the primary application server or the central instance. Why? Because team lead has to take the request, then the load will be distributed to the dialog instance. Central instance will have some resources. I'll explain what are the resources. Central instance will have it. Leader capacity, leader capabilities. So these will be part of your central instance. Getting all of you. Dialog instance or additional application server or your team member capacity is only process the request, not to manage the request. Getting, guys? What team member will do? Whatever the request is given by your team leader, he will do the work and he will leave. That's it. But team lead job is different. How Chandra is performing, what he is doing, I have given the work to him. But whether Chandra is working or not, whether Bhavana is working or not, whether what she has done is correct or not, I need to validate before submitting to the customer. If something is collapsed, then my customer, they don't ask the team member, they will ask only the team lead. That's why you are here, right? That's why we have given the additional responsibility to you as a leader. Getting, guys? Getting all of you?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Any questions?
Yes, sir. No, sir.
Guys,
No, sir.
I'm using some examples. This will help us in understanding the subject. And this is kind of a brain mapping, guys. You know, whenever you're trying to recollect primary application server, secondary, the team lead, team member, immediately you will recollect it. Then easily concept, you will get everything. That's why some of the examples, which is not relevant also, just try to understand. That's it. Okay. Okay. So the primary application server will take the request from all the users. Then it will try to process here. But because of the limited capabilities of the primary application server or the team leader, then it will connect with the other team members who is free. So primary application server will check with all the other dialog instances who is free, what are the resources are free. Then directly the request will be transferred to the respective dialog instance. The respective dialog instance will take your request. Then actual request will be processed by the dialog instances. But some of the books will tell you the request will be processed by the CI. Some of the books will tell you the request will be processed by DI. So everything is correct. I'll explain why all these answers are correct. So as I told you, team member can take the load only from the team lead. Team member can take the load only from the team lead. So how many application servers you want to maintain, you want to configure, it's purely up to you guys. There is no limit, and your management also, they don't care about it. Why? Because it is just another computer. That's it. It is just another computer. It is just another computer. That's it. So this capacity planning should be done by the basis team, especially it should be done by the basis team, and make sure none of the users and their requests are terminated, or none of the requests are not served on time, and none of the users reported they have some performance issue. Until that, whether you want to implement one application server, 10 application servers, 100 application servers, no one will question you until and unless they have a serious budget issues. So until and unless they don't have any budget issues, how many application servers you want to add, it's up to you. So virtually or physically, you can add the application servers. It's just up to you. So these application servers are normal computers. These application servers are just normal computers. And on top of it, you need to install ABAP stack first. ABAP stack is mandatory. When you are installing SAP, ABAP stack installation is mandatory. But Java stack is up to you. Till ECC, you can install ABAP stack first, then Java stack on top of it, Java stack on top of it, and on top of these two things, you know, some of the customers at the time of installation only will choose ABAP and Java, both the stacks can be installed. But only alone Java cannot be installed. ABAP is mandatory. On top of ABAP, Java as an add-on you can install. Or if you don't want to have different installations, again, we don't want to waste the time, then we can do dual stack implementation at the same time. That's why we can call it as dual stack implementation, or ABAP stack on top of ABAP stack, Java as an add-on you can install. It's up to you. But all this is a very old terminology. There is no more dual stack environment in SAP today, and there is no more Java stack in SAP today. One of the customers still they want to use SAP enterprise portal, or still they want to use PI Java. Then in that case, separate Java box we need to set it up. Separate Java box we need to set up, and we can give it to them separately. But to work with S4HANA, if you want to implement S4HANA, then Java stack is not mandatory, only ABAP stack. Just assume your earlier environment, your old environment is ECC, you have a dual stack environment, and you are shifting to S4HANA today. That means you are migrating to S4HANA. So the first thing you have to do is dual stack split should be done. Dual stack split. Dual stack split in the sense Java should be removed from this environment and take it out from SAP. Then only your S4HANA conversion will be possible. Getting all of you?
Yes,
So right from S4HANA, there is no more Java stack is needed for SAP. Whatever we used to do with Java stack, most of the work is managed by Fieri. As someone explained, someone asked me, Enterprise Portal is there in SAP from a very long time, but the most of the functionality of the Enterprise Portal is already moved to Fieri, and even most of the work we are doing through HANA Studio or HANA Cockpit. So that's why now the active participation of Enterprise Portal is reduced a lot. You know, right from S4 HANA, the number of users who are working with Java stack is completely reduced. Why? Because earlier we are completely dependent on Java stack, and there are like a basis part only you can take it. If you have only one ABAP stack, all the employees has to connect to ABAP stack. But now, if you have a dual stack environment, 40% of basis activities can be performed in the Java stack, but actual business will run in the ABAP stack. Java stack, actual business, it won't run, but your business will be simplified by using the Java stack. Are you getting, guys? Your finance department will use ABAP stack to do the business. Your sales department uses ABAP stack to do the business. But Java stack, through Java stack, your business will be simplified. That means your employees can connect from Internet Explorer, your vendors can connect from Internet Explorer to order something or to deliver something, and your competitors are your raw material, you want to get it from some third-party companies. So that will be simplified with the help of Java stack. Other than this, the core business, it won't run through Java stack. Don't be confused, guys. Especially people who are already working. Enterprise Portal will simplify your jobs, but it won't take care of any of your core businesses. Getting all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Especially working people. If you have any confusion or contradictory answers, just stop me there itself. I'll try to explain. But don't keep my answers like that. Okay. So it should be like a group discussion. Then only your skills will be enhanced. If you feel something is wrong or something is missed or something you don't know or something you know is different, just let me know there itself. Okay? Any questions so far? We started discussing the 3-tier architecture. The first tier is presentation. We discussed in detail. The second tier is application server. We just started, and final one is the database. Getting, guys?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Getting, guys?
Yes, sir.
Sir. Getting.
So no more questions, guys? All of you?
No, sir.
Okay, good.
Just,
Okay. So now,
Sir, I have one doubt.
who's that?
Gautam.
Yeah, tell me, Gautam.
Not on this one, but no, for the previous slide that we were discussing about dialog instance and application server, application instance,
This is the one,
and
right?
and the number of users.
Is this the one you are talking about?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's you mentioned that we can keep instance from 0 to 99, like 100 instance, and there is no bar until there is no constraint on amount or money. So isn't like for once one instance will serve for this much people? Is there any ratio like something or any calculation? Or we just decide the number of dialog instances randomly?
Exactly. It's a good question, guys. Anyone, Ramesh and people who are already working, how this capacity will be planned? Is there any rough calculation or is there any formula for this?
Normally, for connection, there will be certain amount of memory will be allocated. So based upon number of connections into memory, so that will calculation will be this. That's how what I know. Correct me if I'm
Anyone else in the group? Anyone else in the group? Leave the freshers, already experienced people. A good question, Gautam. Okay, let me explain, guys. Actually, there will be a separate topic on this. Mostly by next week we'll discuss. But I'll just give you the hint on this. You know, have you heard about SAPs, guys? SAPs, SAPS.
No.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Gautam, have you heard
No,
about
sir.
SAPs?
No,
SAPS.
no. I've not heard about it.
Okay. At least have you heard about dialogue steps?
Dialogue.
Dialogue steps.
In some.
See, this is SAPs, guys. Measuring in SAP application performance standard, that is SAPs. You know, so if you how to calculate SAPs in the SAP system, the formula will be decided based on the number of dialogue steps. In the simple terms, I'll tell you, there will be a separate class on this. Okay. So, for example, online application form, guys. Online application form, if you want to reserve your ticket, if you want to reserve a ticket, or if you want to reserve the admission in a college, you will get first form. There you need to fill your details. Then form 2, form 3, form 4, form 5. And each form, one button, you will get it. So, almost 10 to 15 screens you are completed. Or physically, if you go there also, 15 forms they have given. One by one form you need to fill. And the last form, once you are done, if you submit, you will get a message, your admission is confirmed. Just an example I'm giving. Even in online, even anything you want to do in SAP, there are dialogue steps. If you talk about one SD transaction, like user creation, you can take it. If I want to create a user in SAP, first I'll get one screen. There we have to enter the user ID first. There we have to enter one user ID, username, and if you click on enter, then next screen you will get it. That means that is dialogue step 2. In that you have to enter your user ID, address data. Then once you go to the next step, there is a different dialogue step like this. 10 to 15 dialogue steps will be there. Then only we can say the transaction is completed. Even when you are when you want to do some transaction, cash deposit or cash withdrawal, screen 1 you will get it. You need to enter something. Then screen 2 you will get it. You need to enter something. Then screen 3, screen 4, ATM. You went into ATM, you insert the card. You will get the first screen. There you have entered your PIN number. Based on the PIN number, if it is successful, you will get a next screen. Then in that screen, you enter the amount. Then you will get a different screen. Then there you entered how much you want it and what is the account number. There are 4 or 5 screens, you will get it. Finally, you will get the confirmation your amount is processed. That means there 4 or 5 dialogue steps are there. Each dialogue step, how much memory is needed, based on that, number of application servers will be decided. Each application servers allowed SAPs is 2000. Each one application server allowed SAPs are 2000. Each SAP, 2 dialogue steps or 2 SAPs is needed for 1 dialogue step. So this is the formula. I'm just giving the information, guys. Don't confuse. There is a formula for application server calculation. So not based on the users, based on the number of requests the users are getting generated. From each user, how many requests are coming up? Total 10 people are there, 10 employees are there. 10 employees, how many requests are generating? Based on that, it will be calculated. Getting all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So don't confuse, guys. This I'll explain when we are discussing the HANA architecture part. You can see here, simple example they have given 32 core CPU. How many cores are needed? How many CPUs are needed? Based on that, finally, how many application servers are needed? One core equal to 2000 SAPs. One core in the sense each CPU, each computer, how many cores? 2 cores, 4 cores, like that. How many cores you want it, you can maintain. 1 GB RAM, 400 SAPs. This is the calculation. This in detail explanation I'll give you when we are started HANA architecture. Mostly next week we'll get it. Okay, guys. It is not a blind calculation. There is a fixed calculation based on the number of dialog steps. SAPs will be decided. Based on the SAPs, number of cores will be decided. Based on the cores, CPUs will be decided. Based on the CPUs, your application servers will be decided. Are you clear, guys?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
All of you? Gautam?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. So rest will be discussed next week. Just leave this part today. Okay. Next. As already told you, these application servers, the first application server CI or primary application server, right from the second application server, CSI, IACS. I'm not touching this because this will be explained tomorrow. Okay. If I touch this, you will be confused today. First, get the clarity on the team leader and team member, central instance and dialog instances. Then I'll explain what is this. So, total 100 application servers can be configured maximum under one database. One will be the central instance. One will be the central service instance. These two numbers are dedicated. Rest any number, n number of computers are the dialog instances. If you have NetWeaver environment, if you have Java Stack environment, there is a meaning for CSI. If you don't have Java Stack, then there is no meaning for CSI. So CSI is the helper to the team leader. That means he's kind of a module leader. Module leader in the all the application servers, one application server should be configured as a central service instance. Central service instance. One separate person. Why? Because through GUI, how many users are connecting exactly will come to know. But from internet, how many users are connecting, we cannot able to know. So guys, Indian Railways is there. Indian Railway reservation counters, total 1000 counters are there in India. Just an example. So Indian Railways can estimate how many requests they may get it per second from Indian reservation counters, right? Getting, guys?
Yes, sir.
Why? Because only 10,000 counters are there. Only 1,000 requests per second they may get it. Not more than that. Correct?
Yes, sir.
Based on that, capacity can be planned. But through IRCTC, how many people are going to book the tickets today? Is it possible for them to estimate?
No, no.
No, sir.
Got it?
Yes.
That was the reason for Flipkart, its server crashed on first big billion day.
Exactly. So in that case, if you want to have, if you are getting the excessive load like this or unexpected load like this, the central instance is not sufficient to manage the load. I'm a team leader, but I'm a human being. I cannot estimate the load if it is coming like this. But exactly Indian Railways, how many reservation counters are there? How many requests it will come? One team leader can manage, or 2 team leaders, 10 team leaders, or 20 team leaders. Based on the capacity, they will keep it. But to manage the excessive load, team leaders are not able to manage the load. That's why there is one more application server is dedicated only to lead manage the requests which are coming from Internet Explorer, and that is exactly like a team leader, but this will work for only internet based request. Clear now? Getting, guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Any
I
question?
have doubt, sir.
Yeah.
Depends upon internet, they consider the leads. Then how it is work? You said that like the team lead, but team lead can receive that lead. He can distribute the leads to
Yes.
the yes. But you said that particular
From
application.
internet, 1,000 requests are coming up or 2,000 requests are coming up, that will be handled by the CSI. From CSI, that request will be sent to dialog instances only. But
Oh.
the load, we don't know how much we'll get it. To
Yes.
keep the request in the queue and to handle it in the first come first serve basis, the request will be handled by the CSI. For example, there is no CSI, just assume everything is coming to CI, right? Just assume Indian Railways also, they have the similar setup, right? At a time, 10,000 requests has come from Internet Explorer or Indian Rail IRCTC. Reservation counters can able to book the ticket.
No.
The priority is the reservation counters or the people who are connecting from Internet Explorer.
People come the reservation.
Counters, right?
Yes.
That's why the capacity will be planned exactly how system can support. We never feel the people who are sitting in the reservation counters, they have some issue with the ticket booking by 10 o'clock Tatkal time. Correct?
Yeah.
But from IRCTC, we may face the problem. Why? Because allowed limit will be there. If they cross the limit, obviously it will keep the request in the web servers itself. It won't touch the Indian Railways server.
Yes,
Got
sir.
it?
Yes, sir.
I'll explain in detail tomorrow, guys. There are some freshers. Don't be hurry. There are some freshers. They will be overloaded. Getting, guys? But even though we went deeper today, any questions? Any questions today? All of you?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Are you clear with the concept?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Excellent. So any suggestions, guys, how we are going? Like, are we going very fast or very slow, or we are going very deeper, or we are very light? Just tell me one by one. If you have any genuine opinion, genuine suggestions, then I'll take it forward.